Yeah. We rising above, let me tell you how it's done. Above average black men, shining like the sun. With Chris Sr., Chris Jr., Devin on the beat, we're telling stories from the heart. Feel the pulse and the heat, yo! Step into the room, we bringing that vibe, highlighting kings and queens who thrive and survive. From the corner of the block, making dreams come true. We elevate the voices, yes, you know how we do. Chris C, I got the wisdom, laying down the facts. Chris Jr. with the passion, pushing us to relax. Devin brings the fire, always keeping it fresh. Together we're a force, rising up from the rest.
Above average black men, we breaking the mold. Sharing love, sharing stories, watch the truth.
Welcome to the episode of Above Average Black Men. Yours truly, Chris Sr. I got my two sons on hiatus for me tonight, man. They have better things to do to hang out with dad, so they feel like you. But I got some very special guests here tonight, and we're going to talk about the King movement. What we're in. So we start this way. You guys can introduce yourselves. Whoever wants to go first, don't be shy. Somebody, I got to call. Clay, go first.
All right, here we go. Malachi here, man. I'm just getting my camera set up, ready. Good evening, fellas. Good evening, brothers. Malachi Armstrong. I'm a speaker and facilitator at Pushing Progress Philly, which is an anti-gun violence prevention program. It's a blessing to be on with you guys.
Hey, Malachi.
All right, Clay, let's go,
brother.
Oh, man. I'm just blessed to be a part of a group that has encouraged me in every way. I made many connections. The Christian brothers that I've encountered.
Let's back up. I know you want to get into this, but now we're just introducing ourselves.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I know you're ready to go, but
I'm Barclay Jones, otherwise known as Clay to the group.
Job, you up next, bro.
All right, my name is Job. I'm married, got 2 kids. I'm in the military, Pennsylvania Air National Guard as a chaplain candidate, and I'm also a seminarian, and I work full time. I love being with these real brothers.
Man, your resume long as mine, man. That's what I was bad. James, you up next, bro.
Good evening, brothers. Jay Young, servant leader, child of God, former Air Force veteran, and I run my own financial practice. Glad to be with you.
Jeremiah, you still with us?
Wow. Yeah, I'm still with you. I was having connection issues. I got you.
We can't see you, but
you guys hear me all right?
Bro. Clear as a bell.
Yes, sir. This is Jeremiah Brigham. Just a brother who joined King maybe for about 4 or 5 years ago from Nashville. I'm a son, a brother, representing the 615 Nashville, and soon to be husband.
Wow, he's joining the ranks, man. Yo, all right. So let's get it started. So I guess the first question is, well, let's talk about what King is before we get into the rest of this. King is a men's national Christian men's organization founded by Chris Broussard. King stands for knowledge, inspiration, nurturing through God. The mission is, in a nutshell, to help men become better fathers, better men, better Christians, all those great things that's associated with the best version of yourself. So I gave you the bridge version of King. We meet as a group every Monday from 7:30 to 8:30. It can be anywhere from 25 to 50 virtually, and we meet once a month. Once a month, man. We average about 20, 25 shows once a month in person. So King is really doing one. It's the Philly chapter, man. So I don't want to give too much away. So I guess my first question would be, why did you become a part of King? Whoever wants to go, just go.
Well, I can go. The reason why I wanted to be a part of King is iron sharpens iron. Tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are. And I didn't have this type of community coming up. I'm the son of a single mom, raised by a bunch of women, and I needed to be around men that are going where I'm going, that had a positive trajectory, in order for me to become the best version of myself. Every pastor needs a pastor, every chaplain needs a chaplain, and every good man need other good men to become the best version of themselves. So that's why I'm here, and that's who I'm becoming.
Oh man, we dropped the mic after that one. Who's next?
Yeah, I'll follow that one. King is the brotherhood I didn't know I needed. It's a safe space where men can be encouraged, held accountable, and grow together in faith while pursuing God's purpose for our lives.
I like that. Malachi?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen, man, I didn't even know this existed, man. Y'all guys know my story, man. I was a troubled kid, incarcerated, and then I was doing a presentation. I was doing a presentation about my life, and somebody introduced me. Yes, Lonnie. I'm sorry, guys. Come back to me.
Take care of it. You know, it's the daughter, man. Take care of the daughter. All right, Clay, you want to go? We can get back to him. Let him get his story straight. Go ahead.
Well, I'll piggyback off of what Malachi was saying. That I've been looking for a men's group for over 15 years that would, hold me accountable, tell me what I'm doing wrong, and I'll be able to talk to them in the same way, in the same light. So King just represents something that is phenomenal as far as men are concerned, the opportunity that they have to reach out to other men, to be a part of something that is, I don't know, it's just extraordinary. It is, I don't think I've experienced anything like it.
I like that. You can go back to you, Malachi. All yours, bro.
Yeah, man, I'm back. Baby girl needed the noodles. So
That's all
I
right.
was doing a presentation about, the journey that I was on, man. And I had recently found out about the kingdom versus religion, right? And I think that's why this podcast is so important, right? The kingdom, king, what we stand for versus the religion, Christianity. There's nothing against Christianity, but it's a kingdom. It's a relationship with God, right? And I was doing a presentation, and the lady loved my presentation, and she introduced me to you. And that's actually how I found this fellowship, this ministry of men ministering to men. And it was just like, yeah, this is what the kingdom is about, right? It's about men and women having ministries that minister to the people in which we were placed here to serve. And it was just a no-brainer, bro. Like, I love everything that we got going on. I'm glad to be a part of it. Praise God that I found it. And I praise God that we are here doing his work.
Yeah, I love it. Jeremiah, you up?
Yes, sir. I joined King, like I said, some time ago, and the reason for joining initially was for the prayer. I got involved in the Thursday morning prayer calls. My introduction to it grew from there. I had no idea there was a huge network country of other brothers that you could plug in and be connected with.
And we adopted you because
I'll never.
Jeremiah's always in Tennessee.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I never forget that one Thursday I got on and I was having a really rough time and just laid it out there and told the brothers, "Hey, man, I could really use some prayer in this area of my life." And it was just an influx. Brothers reaching out from all over to network with me and put me in touch with the people and took off from there.
Yeah. It's funny because I think James was the only one that was here. Excuse me. You were here when we got Mr. King, right?
Yes, sir.
It's funny because our start was a little interesting because we've been doing it community men for a long time, man. We were doing it. I've personally been doing it since like pre-COVID. That's how long it's been going on. And somebody saw a toy store posted on Facebook. For those who've been to a toy store, they saw it and they were like, "Yeah, I got this organization to join." And I was like, "No." I was like, "No." And they were like, "Why not?" Because we're already doing it. There's a bunch of us. We meet on Versity. If I call them up, they show up. So I'm like, why? I'm like, why do I want to be bad? We're doing it. And it's like, well, Chris Bassard. And again, I'm like, why? I'm like, that wasn't a selling point for me. They was like, yeah, we got Chris Bassard. I'm thinking, okay, that's pretty cool. But to me, it just wasn't that big a deal. So I agreed to let him come on Communion one Monday night. I think Donnell came on. Who else was with him? Donnell came on. Pastor Calvin came on, and he
Yep.
gave us a pitch. And it was hilarious because I think the majority of the guys was like, no.
Majority of us said no because we were already doing that.
We don't need them. I was like, a majority of the guys were like, no. So it was kind of funny because everybody else was biting at the bit to become part of it. And then we talked about it, and I saw it as a chance to do stuff globally. That's how I saw it. I envisioned connecting with all these chapters across the country, man, and we could do this thing. And I saw it as a way to bring churches together. So it's just not you go to that church, our church. Had no idea that we were creating this space that we're going to attract so many guys. And everybody touched on had no idea. And I tell people all the time, that's just God, because we had no idea. I did a workshop at E9 where I met most of them, and James and I met auspiciously through a nonprofit. So we all come from different walks of life, but it's amazing what God has done because God has created this safe space that guys come for the first time and they're spilling their guts, which is always amazing. Always amazing. So my next question would be, what does king mean to you?
I can go first again. King is a discipleship opportunity. We have to think about Jesus's movement. Jesus brought together a bunch of 12 random dudes, a bunch of misfits. And what he did was he walked with them and he showed them this way of life. And that's what we need in today's society. Like, it's one thing to go to church and get back together the following Sunday, but it's another thing for us to have a meeting on a Monday when we could talk about some real things. It's another thing for us to gather on a Saturday and we can just be honest about whatever we're going through in life. And that is more of what discipleship looks like, is iron sharpening iron, one man sharpening another. No one man has the answer, but when we come together, someone in the group has been through a thing and can help you through a season.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna be brief, man. I love what bro said about the discipleship, man. What king means to me is the development, the deployment of discipleship within the men to make a difference in the world. Simple as that. The development of men, the deployment of men, the discipleship of men, making a difference in the world.
The professor has spoke. We used to call him the professor.
Yeah. Used to be coach, now you're professor.
He graduated. He graduated to professor now, man. We can't be coach no more, man. He moved up the ladder.
Man, it's the iron sharpening iron, man. That's what you get when you come with us, man.
All right, let me try to follow another deep thought. What king means for me, right? King gave me another circle of accountability and growth. So like in the military, I learned service and leadership. In my business, I learned discipline and professionalism. King kind of reinforces the spiritual foundation that helps me align those things with faith, family, and purpose.
I like that. All right, Clayton, Job, and Jeremiah. Them three y'all left.
Well, for me, it represents unity in Christ among men, and that accountability piece comes into play. I met many guys at the summit, and it was like I knew them all my life. I could talk to them, they could talk to me, they could open up. And it's a way to release those things that you got going on and be able to trust another man. So King represents that unity and that trust and being able to trust another man, because a lot of men don't trust.
Yeah. All right, who's next?
As far as what king means to me, man, it honestly encompasses what the church, we all have our own local churches that we attend, but it really does encompass all of those things that is seeking to do, being, James mentioned service, Kai mentioned the censorship, ability. Uh,
You
mentioned, I
break it
mean,
up, Jeremiah.
am I still breaking up?
Yeah, you were fine. Then your camera went off, and then you breaking up.
Is this all right now?
Yep.
I mean, honestly, it's all of those things put in one, but in the few summits that I've experienced, I've honestly felt, just like I said, there's a larger group, when you talk about state to state, but it's also those connections that you make with people, be it Clay, James, over time, really do help to shape what King means for you, because it means something different for everybody. But when you think about King, a lot of times you have memories that come back to, oh, I remember when Clay went out of his way to pick in on me, or when James went out of his way to give me an hour of his time. It's honestly about that availability.
What? I mean, I was impressed when you came from Tennessee last year to go to the, or 2 years ago, to go to the summit. That was impressive, man. That was very impressive. Join out to
Drove
that.
drove to drove
Yeah,
to or
bro.
flew into Maryland,
Yeah.
and then drove to Philly,
That's
And rode on
decent.
a
That's
bus.
decent.
Rode on a bus
and then
from
rode on a
Didn't know any,
bus.
didn't know any of us.
Talk about planes, trains, and automobiles.
So let me ask you a question. King often mentions biblical manhood. I find that interesting because we live in a time where everybody's talking about toxic masculinity. It's the struggle between women trying to be in charge, and it's just it is. It seems like men have been under this constant attack for like the last couple of years, man. What you're not, what you should be. You come up short here. Even talk shows. It's so bad that I was watching something the other day. I don't even watch it, and this song, these two women made a song talking about women need to stop bashing men. It's pretty funny. It's actually pretty cool. But we're in a time, man. So what does biblical manhood look like? Because that's something that a lot of our kids they struggle with manhood, period, and females. So what does that look like? Anybody?
I would submit this to you that a biblical manhood looks like walking in integrity, being faithful to your responsibilities, being present, and being able to communicate in honesty and vulnerability. In this day and time, um, our community, our world, they're looking for authentic manhood. They just want someone to be real and be honest with them, because we live in a time where social media is selling you lies. And we need someone that's going to be honest with you. People don't care what you know until they know that you care. And if a
Facts.
man is able to like communicate that and show a young person that, then they're willing to follow. We're looking, we're out here looking for good role models, and a biblical man is walking in those areas, and it's been consistent. You don't got to be all that. If you have a job, be faithful, be a good husband, be a good father, and be present, and be available and accessible. I think that's a good start.
All right.
Yeah, I wanna follow up because I agree with that. Everything he said, right? I think not.
You lost.
I think so.
All right. Anybody want to jump in until he comes back?
Follow it. Job hit the nail on the head, brother.
Is anybody else hearing that?
One of the things. Oh, what happened?
Are you back, Malachi? Poor James. He's not back.
He's not back.
Okay, gotcha. One of the things that I love about what Job said, but I love this about all of our brothers, is okay, we have that ability to be real with one another, right? okay, yeah, we're walking the walk and we're showing up for the people that are watching us. But at the same time, we're being real with each other. We're able to challenge one another, pray for one another. It gives us that safe space where we can just be, right, and then celebrate each other's victories. It's like what you say all the time, Chris. This is a place where iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
And we need that in today's world because we're carrying a lot of heavy burdens in silence.
All right. Nice answer. Anybody else? Like Malachi, you back? Clay, you got something to say? You shaking your head, Clay. Nothing's coming out.
I mean, Joe summed it up perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say it any better than that. You know, all those I would call them attributes of a biblical man and manhood. It's very hard for men to see other men in their biblical manhood. They don't really believe it. I don't know what. I had a little instance today, and somebody was complaining about the cost of something, and he was like, "Yeah, nothing ain't free. There ain't everything costs something." And I was like, "No, there's one thing that doesn't cost anything." And he was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Salvation." So it doesn't cost you anything. You know, you just got to give it a shot, and just being able to say that to a person, you don't know, especially a man in front of his woman, and for him to receive it. There are people out there that are able to articulate what you're saying to them when you speak about Christ. So, just walking in truth and telling people the truth and being straight up with them, being real.
You want to jump back in here, Malachi?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. My connection just got like trashed, but I'm pretty sure everybody was still on point with what I was getting ready to say. I believe everybody's speaking to like these ingredients to a recipe of how to become like this biblical man and how to lead by example. As we go through the Bible and we study Jesus, we study the Word of God, the living Word. We pull away characteristics, we pull away traits that we can identify with because we're made in the image of, and we just live in that, and we study how to be more accurate in leading and living that example, which is something that I'm personally working on too. But I believe that we are all striving to be perfect like your Father is in heaven, right? That is not really about the perfection. It's about the striving. It's about the journey. It's about the diligence. It's about the discipline and wanting to go for a lofty goal in anything that you're doing, and then leading by example and living that example in there.
All right, cool. Jeremiah, can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you. Biblical manhood for me has really changed, and I began to get a different viewpoint what that really looks like as I've stepped into a new chapter in life, and it really has humbled me in different ways that I didn't know I needed to be humbled. Grateful and better for it. Not only has it humbled me, but it's also helped me to see how much more of a appreciation and gratitude I should place not only on brothers like yourself, but my dad, my grandfather, people who have already walked the road taken now. And so it gives me a deeper appreciation for those who have already paved that road, and gives me a beacon to look to.
All right. My next question is, who taught you what manhood was, and how, if it is different than what you discovered since being in King? So, like, who was that first role model who you could say laid down a foundation for what you thought they thought manhood was, and how does that differ since you've been involved in King?
My father, absolutely, hands down. My father, God rest his soul. He showed me what manhood was, and honestly, it's not much different from what I'm experiencing here with the brothers in King. So thankfully, um, it very much aligns with values and traits that were instilled in me as a young boy. So, yeah.
Okay. Anybody else?
I would say go
Go
ahead,
ahead,
brother.
Jeremiah.
I'd say
Jeremiah, go ahead.
not only my dad, going off of what James said, but granddad as well. He did a phenomenal job in showing me, and which of course, all grandkids love their grandparents, because it's always, oh yeah, gimme, gimme, gimme. It wasn't about the stuff that he ever gave me. It was about the time and attention side of all the other things that he could be doing. Because he's also a bad all those things that he could be doing. He always made time to check in on me, see how I'm doing, going in the right direction, and how he can help me get to the next destination of where I'm trying.
All right. Good. Who's next? Joe, Clay?
Yeah,
Well,
go ahead, Joe.
I actually was raised by a single mom. My father was somewhat abusive, so he wasn't the best role model. But the men in the church were my role models, and the pastors were my role models. And when I joined King, I I I learned from the men around me how to be a better husband, a better father, and the my pastors taught me how to be a vulnerable communicator, and I think that's something that all men need to be able to do is to express themselves effectively, uh, with transparency, honesty, and vulnerability, especially in this day and time. And this has been something that I've been crafting at King while we wrestle with life together.
All right, Clay, you up.
Yeah, well, I gotta honestly say that my dad taught me many things, but giving of oneself to another person was probably the biggest lesson. He wasn't a selfish person, except for if he had something to give, he would give it. And as far as giving of myself, I kind of sometimes lack in that area in my own personal life. But as far as being together, a family and a group, and he definitely taught me how to, stick together with the group.
Okay. Jeff, the answer to the question is who taught you what man was and how, if it is different than what you know now by being in King?
I can't see you. Can you see me? Let me see. Oh, there we go. I was
Yeah.
trying to, yeah, I was trying to transfer it over to my laptop, and I couldn't do it. I was just going off my phone. But I would say um, my mother, 'cause I grew up in a single parent household, and but what she did was she got me involved with a lot of different activities, uh, 4-H club, Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts. I was big into sports, so she had me in Little League baseball, Pony League. Then I graduated to other different things. But I met other male figures, and being around a lot of the male figures, and you know, just men, boys in general, I kind of got my cues on different things. Um, I also went to the church. I joined Cub Scouts at our church. That's where first got introduced to that. But just being around male figures at the church, also at the Salvation Army, because my mother she had me involved with camps up there. Um, the leadership up there. A lot of things I could truly say it takes a village um, to raise a child. I had a lot of influences, um, but I'm glad that my mother exposed me to those different environments and gave me like a well-rounded, um, kind of like how can I say it? I said crash course in urban environment, so to speak. I can't remember the name. The things on top of my head, I can't remember the name how I want to explain it, but street smarts basically.
But
A
back
lot
up.
of
I get that, but we're trying to like what man? What was the first man who just kind of demonstrated manhood to you?
I would say it was this guy. His name is Brother Elijah, and I met him through the YMCA. He was a weightlifter, a bodyguard. He worked the front desk. And every time I would come in, I would go down to the gym and work out, and he always greeted me and he always spoke life into me, telling me, hey, you want to go this way, not that way. So I would say that man right there, Brother Elijah.
Is it how is it? It may not be different because James said there's not much difference between what his dad told him and what King has shown him. Is there a difference between what you learned and what King has actually showed you?
I would say it's King is more biblical, more brotherhood, where you can, I guess, explain and share your feelings and be in a group where you're not going to be criticized because you're seeing like-minded individual people that go through different pains and struggles, and you may not think that you're the only one going through it, but you're really not. There's somebody else that is going through it, or even more so than me meeting Brother Elijah. Brother Elijah, I'm sure he had other issues and everything, but it was always just like a one-on-one encouragement thing. Um, I can remember just a couple of things I shared with him when I was in high school, but nothing like uh, King and being around a brotherhood, also the community of men.
Mm. All right. So I mean, like for me, there's a difference. My dad did a great job. He did, and I applaud him for that. But there's things that King kind of gave me that you weren't gonna get just from your dad. Like your dad's a one-on-one thing. King is about a whole bunch of folk. See, your family is people. Your family. You kind of don't get a choice. You know what I mean? That's your brother. You don't. That's your brother. That's your sister. It is what it is. Yeah, you can't choose. You like we blood no matter what. I think King with me was the first time outside of sports. Because sports you bond when you play sports. You get together and play sports, common cause. King was the first time for me to be around a bunch of men from so many different walks of life. So many different levels of faith. So many different. I'm not gonna say issues, but Jeff touched on it. So many different things going on in so many different people, and somehow there was this common place. Where everybody fit in. And to me, that's kind of this is interesting because I think Joe touched on it, and so did Clay. Most men don't get a chance to experience it. To go to a space you can say, I'm having trouble in my marriage, I'm having trouble with whatever it is, grandkids, whatever it is, man, and you're in the room with some real brothers. Nobody's laughing at you, nobody's talking about you soon you walk out the door. And that was kind of the first time for me. Other than sports. This is a group because I grew up, I know my whole life. But that was different because I've known him my whole life. When you know somebody forever, like Kenny got first grade, but King is kind of like, and Jeremiah touched on it, people come from all over the place. And something happens that we always seem to find the commonality. Always. Always seem to find that point. So my next question is, how would you define King? What's your experience like being a part of King? Keep it short, but what was it like? I hate to use the word selling. You're trying to get somebody else interested. I don't want to say selling. How would you like Clay talking about, and he says this a lot, how I presented him with the conflict you got to share gospel.
Oh, well, for me, King has been an opportunity for me to connect with what Christ, what Chris just said, men of all different levels of faith, all different levels of experience. I've been able to find mentors at King. I've been able to find um, colleagues and peers at King, and I've been able to find brothers that I could pull along the way. I think that's important because there's something significant that we get from receiving from another man. There's something that we get that is significant when we share the word of God with another man, iron sharpening iron. And there's something significant when you're depositing into another person. So all that happens at King, and King is a safe place where men get to do this. Because Chris, you said this earlier that men, we are under attack. The idea of being a man is under attack. Everyone is coming at us from left, right, and center. But we come together. We get to put our armor down. We get to take off the mask, and we get to have real conversations about how we're dealing with life in the here and now.
Good. What we saying in the chat? How would you describe King, Malachi? That's the question everybody's answering.
Can you repeat the question again? Apology for my connection issues. I switched to my laptop.
Yeah, you're fine, man. You're fine. How would you describe King?
How would I describe King?
Yeah, if you were talking to somebody and you were trying to get understood of King, how would you describe it?
Yeah, man, I would define it as a brotherhood, but a brotherhood in which we are literally iron sharpens iron. So I would describe it as a developmental process. Like, man, listen, if you need help in this area, you can literally call on brothers, and they're not just going to tell you, I'm going to pray for you. These guys can give you scriptural evidence, real life based, right, facts about things, how they apply scripture to their life, and how these things has worked out for them, because that's what the relationship with God is about, right? That's what trusting his word is about. So I would talk about how we have all come together. We're developing in this area, finance, family, faith, masculinity, and how we're applying biblical principles to our lives, and how it's helping us develop to become men, and how we're able to impact, influence, and inspire the world to do the same.
I like that. The professor has spoken. Who's next? Who's next?
I guess that'd be me again. So, I always get to follow the professor or the best answer.
Nickname. That's his new nickname. Go ahead.
Right. So, to me, King isn't just an organization, but just like the professor just said, it's a brotherhood of men that's committed to becoming better than we were yesterday, right? Better husbands, better fathers, better leaders, better servants. It's a place where men can be challenged, encouraged, held accountable while still growing their relationship with God.
I like that.
That was beautiful too. He needed
did a good job.
Appreciate that.
I gotta. That is so funny to hear him say that's beautiful. You don't hear men don't usually say that. You know you're comfortable when you say that. That's
Yeah, bro. Like, man,
that's a perfect example. You can express how you really feel without being criticized.
Yeah.
And I mean that's all a part of King. Also, if you're describing King, you won't be criticized. You're coming into a comfort zone of brothers that are like-minded and that are on fire for Christ. They're not going to beat you in the head with the Bible, but they will teach you, they'll bring you along and help you grow in the ministry, in the group, and have you help other people and have you bring them along. And I mean, this group has really, I mean, when I talk about King to like my peers, they be like, oh man, that's dope. Oh, that's decent. And I'll show them the website of what we do, how we gather, the speakers that we have. We touch upon, topics in homosexuality, finance, keeping yourself together, health-wise, just different topics. And they're engaged. And I'm like, well, all right, well, this is a website. If you're engaged and you like it, here, I'll give you some more. Just come on back. And that's the lead in. If they come back, then I'll feed them into community of men. And I'll see, like, I got two that come right now. One of them is my president of my union. And another one, he comes when he can. So there's two people that I got coming, so They haven't spoken yet. You probably see their names on the platform on Monday nights, but I'm just waiting for them. I tell them, hey, look, you can just listen. You don't have to show your face, but just partake, and they do that.
I mean, but keep in mind, our chapter is different.
Much different. I agree with that.
Different, man. And
It's
I'm proud.
closer.
I'm proud of that. I think for me, the thing about King, and our chapter especially, it allows everybody to be their authentic self. It does. Nobody's sitting there talking about pastor this, pastor that, this pastor person, this person's title, or you do this, you do that. It just never comes up. It just never comes up. When we get in that circle, man, which is the reason why I picked the circle, because, everybody's equal. And the thing about it is, in being equal, at one time or another, everybody's been vulnerable. Everybody's been transparent. It hasn't been one of them things, well, I can't say this. I'll wait till the group over, I'm gonna run and tell somebody. And I think that's what draws people, and that's what's amazing. That's what men lack, especially our young men. Especially our young men. So let me ask you a question. What is something that you think we can do better?
I think it's something that we're already doing. We're improving on it, even with my short tenure in King. When we're teaching the practical, applicable aspects of the Bible to show people, like, this is how the living word applies to living life. Like, it's something that we're improving on, and I love that, because that's how we show, like, yo, bro, like, God is real, bro. Like, you ain't gotta just sit back and think like it's supposed to happen on some like genie in a bottle type time. Like, no, God said do this is gonna happen, so do that, because that's gonna happen. So pretty much like applying principles of life.
Some people do think it's a genie in a bottle.
No, for sure though, bro. Yeah.
Anybody else? What do you think we could do better?
Maybe share a testimony. Let somebody know, a little bit about your background. But I know I in the back of my mind, something's telling me right now, you don't cast your pearls to swine, so you gotta be careful about who you speak with. And it's like with me, I'm pretty good judge of character. If I feel somebody's like, coming down my alleyway, where I feel that they may need a little something, and I'll start talking to them a little bit, and I hear what they have to say, then I'll invite them in, and then I'll start to share, hey, man, I've been there. This is what happened with me, and this is where Jesus brought me, and this is where I'm at right now.
I would have to say never miss an opportunity to interject Christ into the conversation. He can get in there all different kinds of ways. It's everything around us, everything we do, it all points back to him. So never miss an opportunity.
Anybody else? What do you think we can do better?
I think that one of the things that we can do better is continue to work on ourselves to be better. But the one job that we have is to spread the word, spread the gospel, spread the good news. That's one of the things that I think we can do better. The one thing we've already done is shown up and been available to other people, right? But now I would say, if there was any one thing that I could say we could always do better, is spread that good news.
But I think everything you guys said kind of points to one thing. I think we have to be more purposeful and intentional about doing stuff. And it's not always preaching. Like, the word that's impressive. I use that as an example. They loved it. Kids loved it. They do the greatest thing in the world, man. Teachers loved it. Greatest thing in the world, man. And that was a chance for us to show our light. So like next year, I'm thinking about how to take it to another level. But just that alone, as simple as, for those who can make it, just going and reading to those kids. I don't know if you saw a little kindergarten come run out and they run up to me, the mystery reader. It's just really funny. They go, yo, I love you. It was hilarious. But they're not used to seeing Black men come in there, and read. And somebody told me when I was reading in school that day that they won't see a Black male teacher till the 5th grade, if they're lucky. So if you couple that with the fact that we do have so many single family homes, They do a great job, but every boy's going to find some man to affirm him. That's just a fact of life. I would like to see us do more community stuff, whatever it is. Maybe somebody says, "Yo, let's go to a senior citizens home." Maybe just go there, just one time. Maybe just go there one time, share the gospel. I don't know. Maybe we collect toiletries and take those things. I would love to see us do a little more in the community, because I think, especially young black boys, need to see us. Not always preaching to them, but just see us doing stuff. And I think that is not just a weakness for King. I think even in the church sometimes we get so caught up in, we always got to make a splash. We got to get our new TV channels there, and they got to be there instead of just being around, being present, man. Like Clay talked about, just something as simple as, I got something for you for your salvation. Dude probably still think about that. I know you never heard that before. He probably thought Clay was going to say something crazy, but that little thing right there could save somebody's life. You know what I mean? That little thing right there could make him and his girlfriend, wherever she was, have a whole different conversation. So I would like to see us be a little more present in some of the stuff that we do. Like we do something like once a year now, maybe once a year, twice a year. We like the day we went to the school and most people were there. Well, we remember high-fiving games. Mm-hmm. We had moms asking to take our picture because they'd never seen the black men doing something positive in the morning. So, I think that's what we could do better. I think the other part, relationship part is crazy because we have that down pat. But I do think everything you said, I agree with all of you, but we can accomplish, and I think we just got to do better at that. Like, even some guys come up with some service projects. Hey, you may have some favorite project you want to do. Clay may know something out there that, they need some volunteers to do something. I want to see us more purposeful about that. I do. So let me ask you this question. We all in King, and we know we like King. What do you like most about it? If you had to pick one quality, one characteristic, man, that you thought stood out above the rest, what would that be?
I would say nurture.
Good work.
I would say the brotherhood.
Yeah, it's along the same lines as nurturing and brotherhood, man. It's just that iron and sharpening iron piece.
Bob?
I would say the trust the men have in you.
Wow. Anybody else?
If I had to say something different, I would say the commitment to each other, because you're not alone.
Yeah. It goes back to what Clay said earlier. This is truly a village. Remember at the beginning, Clay started by saying how it is truly a village because there's so many. It's like a rainbow. How rainbow has all those different colors and it just makes it different. Like if it was all blue or all white or all red, we probably just keep right on walking. But the fact that you see all these different colors, man, and it's kind of like King because you all these different personalities. That somehow when we get in that circle, we go in that call, they mesh. Like I invited a friend of mine from Texas, and he shared. He was going through some stuff, and he texted me right after, like, "Yo, that's dope. I've never been to a party anything like that." So I think that ability for us to come together, man, and just put all that stuff aside is amazing. Guys come in and they unpack their stuff and they keep going. I think the support that we do give each other definitely makes a difference. So my next question is, for those of us who matter of fact is all of us, either we're fathers, husbands, or something, how has King impacted that area of life? You can choose father, husband, whatever you want to choose.
I tell you what, I mean, when I heard you speak, Chris, and you was talking about how you and your wife pray, I had to think about that and I had to approach that in my own marriage and say, me and Shell, we got to pray more together. And I started doing that. And also Clay had told me too, also that. So I said, I have to try to, be more purposeful in my marriage as being the head of the household and just setting the tone. I mean, as far as like setting the tone with my sons and everything, I think that's already been set. I know it's being set with my grandkids now. They know in this house is a house of love, and I set the tone that way. But praying with my wife more. That's one of the things that I hold dear.
Cool. Anybody else?
All right. For
Go ahead.
me, it's like I have this desire and this hunger to want to step up, to want to take on the challenge, to want to. I can't fix it right away, but to chisel away at it, and to continue to develop my masculinity biblically, to be able to like live and lead by example, man. Like it's been a journey, man, and I'm appreciative to be on it, and the fact that I'm in a space where I don't want to shy away. I want to be present. I want to be to James' point, Jeff, my bad, purposeful, right, intentional. Like it's a 360, man. It's a complete 180, like turnaround, like.
All right. So we have closing. You have keep this short. You have 60 seconds, man. What's your closing? Any closing statement? Anything you want to say? It's your chance.
Man, I would just say that this is King has been that opportunity for me to express myself, not just, vertically with God, but through all my relationships. But it's also given that safe space to be able to tell a brother, hey man, I love you. You know, it's very rare that you hear those three words exchanged between another man, knowing that there's at least one brother out there cares about you, cares not just about you, but your soul is a very good thing.
Ooh, look at that. Youngster showing off tonight.
Yeah, no, I gotta second that, bro. He hit the nail on the head, bro. It's that love, bro. Like as men, right? We don't get enough time and energy, and we got men giving other men time and energy and love, bro. Like when I say time and energy for men to men relationships, right? Like the time to be what that brother needs you to be at that time, and then the energy to fill whatever capacity that relationship needs at that time, bro. Like so for us as men to be able to come together and maybe have never received that, to finally be able to receive that, that helps you just push forward, man. So it's definitely love, bro. It's definitely love.
Okay. Anybody else?
So I think the listening is such a big factor. A lot of men don't feel like they're heard. Like it's going in one ear and out the other. And I just think that you connect with somebody that is able to listen to you and not talk so much until it's time for them to talk.
Good point. Good point. Anybody else as we close?
Yeah, King reinforced for me something that I learned during my Air Force career, that we're stronger as a team than we are alone. Difference is that King adds a spiritual dimension. So my brothers helped me stay grounded in my faith, challenge me to be a better man, and remind me that leadership begins with how I serve God, my family, and my community. Right. So I've been King. I was crowned in 2022. And what I learned in that was being crowned wasn't the finish line. It was the beginning of a deeper commitment to grow as a man of faith, and then walk alongside my brothers, other men that are doing the same. So that's what King did for me.
Wow. Before we go any gossip, hold your peace.
Everybody said everything. Ain't nothing for me to say, but say the acronym. Say the acronym. Knowledge, inspiration, nurture through God.
Strong in the Lord.
Amen.
Thank you, Russ, for coming out, man. As you close out, man.
Yeah.
Listen to the song for a little bit, then we'll close out. James didn't know that theme song, did he?
I like that song.
He would, James.
You gotta sing that.
Yo, step into the room, we bringing that vibe, highlighting kings and queens who thrive and survive from the corner of the block, making dreams come true. We elevate the voices, yes, you know how we do. Chris Cia got the wisdom, laying down the facts. Chris Jr. with the passion, rising up from the rest.
Above average black man, we breaking the mold.
Okay, for Solid, man. We will see you next week, same time, same channel. I mean it, guys. Whenever you want to join, just let me know, all right? I hit you up the link. You can join the top, all right? All right, man. Peace.
Peace.